Arsenal act swiftly in bid to beat Man United to £34 million striker. Will it work this time? And Fabrizio Romano responds to Arsenal star's transfer links with two La Liga clubs. Stick with me until the end of the video, as at the conclusion, I'll share an exclusive piece of news revealing the unexpected departure of a star from Arsenal. But before that, if you're also passionate about Arsenal, subscribe to the channel now and stay up to date with everything that happens behind the scenes at the Premier League's biggest team. And without further ado, let's get into today's updates. Arsenal act swiftly in bid to beat Man United to £34 million striker as transfer plan launched. Arsenal have reportedly taken the first steps in their plan to beat Manchester United to the signing of Joshua Zirkzee. The Bologna striker's future has been the subject of speculation during the January transfer window. Arsenal have been linked with the potential signing of Zirkzee, although they are not the only club apparently interested, with Premier League rivals United also in need of a new forward. It has been reported by Corriere dello that Arsenal have taken the first steps in their plan to sign Zirkzee, and have informed Bologna of their intent to sign the striker, but not until the summer transfer window. The article claims that the Gunners have told the forward's current club they are prepared to pay more than €40 million, £34 million, to sign the 22-year-old. Man United are also mentioned in the report and are also apparently willing to pay the aforementioned amount to sign Zirkzee in the summer. Bayern Munich sold Zirkzee to Bologna in the summer of 2022, and the striker has since scored 10 goals in 43 appearances for the Serie A club. A recent report from Football Italia claimed that Zirkzee has a €40 million, £34 million, release clause in his contract, but that can only be activated by his former club, Bayern. It goes on to say that should Zirkzee be sold to a different club, then Bayern would be entitled to 40% of the transfer fee. Napoli and AC Milan have also been credited with an interest in signing Zirkzee. The striker has scored 8 goals in 22 appearances in Serie A this season, including in the league game against Milan on Saturday night. Arsenal have been heavily linked with the possibility of signing a striker during the January transfer window. However, with the deadline on Thursday, Mikel Arteta and company look increasingly likely to go into the second half of the season with Gabriel Jesus, Edin Nketiah, and Kai Havertz as his main centre-forward options. Transfer journalist Fabrizio Romano has now provided an update on the future of Arsenal midfielder Thomas Partey. Thomas Partey has barely featured for Arsenal so far this season. He only has 4 Premier League outings under his belt, and hasn't been seen in action for the North London club since the Gunners' 1-0 win over Manchester City in early October. Of course, persistent injury issues are not a new problem for Partey. He has been sidelined several times since his arrival at the club in the summer of 2020. At 30 years old, and with his fitness record being as unreliable as it is, Partey clearly does not represent the long-term future of Mikel Arteta's midfield contingent. Arsenal had the chance to offload Partey in the summer, as interest in his services was shown from clubs in Saudi Arabia. Now, with the January transfer window drawing towards a close, talk of an exit being on the cards for the Ghanaian has emerged once again. Fabrizio Romano has now shed some light on the situation. Speaking to Give Me Sport, the reporter said, "Despite what's being reported by some sources in Spain, I'm not aware of anything happening right now with Arsenal midfielder Thomas Partey. Atletico Madrid are not interested, and Real Sociedad are not looking into it now. There's nothing at the moment. Saudi clubs wanted him last June, but Arsenal decided to keep him. So let's see what's going to be the strategy in the next few months, but for January, it looks very quiet." Should Arsenal be open to letting Thomas Partey go? Whilst it seems that Partey is set to stay at Arsenal until the end of the current campaign at least, if an opportunity to cash in on the 47-cap Ghana international presents itself in the coming days, then the club should seriously consider accepting such an offer. Arteta cannot rely upon Partey to be consistently fit and available when needed, even if the midfielder is now back in training and in contention to face Nottingham Forest in the upcoming clash. The fact remains that Partey is currently earning £200,000 per week and only has 18 months left on his current contract. The club can't afford to keep carrying a player on such wages who plays so infrequently, and time is running out for the Gunners to attract anything like a decent fee for him. In an ideal world, Partey will be able to find some form and fitness throughout the second half of the campaign, and can play an important role in helping Arsenal push for the Premier League title. There is no denying that at his best he is still an elite-level performer. However, come the summer, the club need to finally move on from him and start rebuilding their midfield unit with the future in mind. No way home. European football expert Andy Brazel said that Mikel Arteta would not be human if he had not considered a move to Barcelona. Brazel told TalkSport he would not be human if, especially with what's happened with Jurgen Klopp, he didn't have a little look around and think, well, actually, this has been really intense at Arsenal. The pace of change that he has authored at Arsenal has been extraordinary. He's done a brilliant job and it must have taken a lot out of him. So I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of coaches in the Premier League aren't thinking, well, what am I going to do next? You know, how long do I want to be in this? It doesn't say Arteta is definitely going to leave, and it definitely doesn't say that he's gone to the club and said I'm leaving, but it's just saying that him and his inner circle are considering the possibility, which is slightly different. Arsenal looked unlikely to sanction major departures in this transfer window, but a surprise has now emerged as two clubs have inquired about Fabio Vieira. The midfielder has been absent since November when he was sent off against Burnley and subsequently banned for 3 games. He then underwent surgery on a groin injury and is still expected to be absent for the coming weeks. This came after a bright start to the season, where he played a huge part in 2 goals in a stunning cameo during a 2-2 draw against Fulham, but the campaign has not panned out as he expected. Emile Smith-Rowe was recently linked with a loan move to West Ham, but it is clear that the club believe he is still an important part of the team, and this could spell bad news for Vieira's Arsenal future. French sides express interest in Arsenal star Fabio Vieira. A report from Football Transfers has now revealed that AS Monaco and another unnamed French side have made inquiries about a loan deal for Vieira. The 23-year-old joined Arsenal for around £34 million last year, but a combination of injuries, inconsistent form and tough competition in his position has limited his minutes. He has shown flashes of talent, but is still yet to fully convince in an Arsenal shirt despite his talent, having arrived as an outstanding prospect from Porto. Monaco signed former Hale End prodigy Folarin Balogun in the summer, and could be set to unite the pair should Vieira follow him to the south of France. When he does return from injury, starts may not come easy for Vieira, with Arsenal still aiming to compete in the title race, whilst they will face his old club Porto in the Champions League. If Smith-Rowe is indeed set for more opportunities in midfield, whilst Thomas Partey has also returned from injury, then Vieira will fall further down the pecking order under Mikel Arteta. Arsenal did face problems in midfield as Kai Havertz struggled to settle, and Vieira could have been an option earlier this season, but failed to grasp the opportunity before his injury. A loan deal could make sense in that Vieira could find consistent game time and improve his form, but it would also weaken Arsenal's depth, and if Arteta still considers Vieira part of his plans, an exit this week would be unlikely. Well, folks, those were today's news. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay informed about everything happening with our beloved team, you know what to do. Subscribe to the channel now and hit the bell so you won't miss any updates. Thanks for joining us, and see you in the next video.